In today's video, we will learn about partnership accounts and the topic is change in profit sharing ratio. Let us understand what is profit sharing ratio. So generally in the partnership, there is an agreement between the partners in which they state that in which ratio they are going to divide or share the profits or losses. Now, this is known as agreed ratio. Like they are agreeing upon a particular ratio in which they are going to share the profit or losses. If suppose there are two partners and they have agreed to share the profits and losses in the ratio of 3 to 2, that means the agreed ratio between them is 3 to 2. If the partnership is silent about the ratio in which they are going to share the profit or losses, then we can assume that it is sharing in equal ratio. That means suppose if there are three partners A, B and C, that means they will share their profit or losses equally among themselves. Now, what is a change in profit sharing ratio? So, the change in profit sharing ratio occurs when the partners in the partnership firm decide to alter the ratio in which they were initially sharing the profit and losses. It may happen due to several cases, like during the admission of a new partner. Suppose there were previously two partners in the business A and B, but now C is being admitted to the partnership. So now new ratio needs to be calculated and the earlier two partners, that is A and B, needs to sacrifice certain part of their share. It might happen that only a single partner is sacrificing the share, which we will look in the upcoming examples. Secondly, it might happen due to retirement or death of partner, like they need to redistribute the share of the outgoing partner. In case of change in business conditions or if there is a mutual agreement between existing partners regarding the change of ratio. For example, if A and B used to share the profits in the ratio of 3 to 2, they may decide to change it to 1 to 1. In that case, we need to check whether the partners are sacrificing their shares or gaining the shares due to this particular change. What are the key terms that we need to remember for this calculations are old ratio, new ratio, sacrificing ratio and gaining ratio. Old ratio is the ratio in which the profits were previously shared. So old ratio is the one in which the partners used to share their shares, profit or losses previously. In case of new ratio, the new ratio is basically the agreed profit sharing ratio which is going to continue from now onwards. What is sacrificing ratio? It is the ratio in which the partner gives up for the new one. So it is basically calculated by old share minus new share. And gaining ratio is generally used in case of retirement or death where other partners gain the share of the ones who have retired or died. The outgoing partner's share is being gained by the remaining partners. Gaining ratio. Example 1, and this is in the case of admission of a new partner. So generally in case of admission of a new partner, there is a sacrificing ratio. The old partners needs to give up a certain part of their share for the new partner. Here the old ratio was given among A and B as 3 is to 2. That means A was 3 by 5 and B was 2 by 5. New ratio is also given as 7 by 16, B is 5 by 16 and C is 4 by 16. Now in order to calculate sacrificing ratio, we have already studied the formula of sacrificing ratio is old ratio minus new ratio. And this we need to calculate only for the old partners because they are only sacrificing their part of share. So we can calculate it with the help of a table, old ratio, new ratio and sacrificing ratio. A, B. Old ratio of A was 3 by 5, old ratio of B was 2 by 5, new ratio was 7 by 16 and 5 by 16. So we need to deduct this. So here sacrificing is basically 3 by 5 minus 7 by 16 and 2 by 5 minus 5 by 16. If we take the LCM of 5 and 16, it is 80. Now, this is 16 into 3 minus 7 into 5. If we solve this, we will get 13 by 80, and over here if we solve this, we get 7 by 80. That means the sacrificing ratio between A and B is nothing but 13 is to 7. Let's move on to second example. It is in the case of retirement of a partner. So in case of retirement of a partner, the outgoing partner's share is generally gained by the remaining partners. Here the old ratio was 3:3:2, and after the retirement of C, A and B decides to share the profits equally. That means A and B will share in the ratio 1:1. And the earlier the ratio was 3:3:2. That means A was 3 by 8, B was 3 by 8, C was 2 by 8. And U is half for each because there are two partners. Again we can create a table. For gaining ratio we have studied the formula is new ratio minus old ratio. So we can create the table, and this gaining ratio will be calculated only for the remaining partners, that is A and B. New ratio is 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 for both. Old ratio was again 3 by 8 and 3 by 8 for both. So if we deduct this, we need to calculate this. Take the LCM as 8. Here it is 4 by 3. Here it is again 4 minus 3. So it is 1 by 8 and 1 by 8. So the gaining ratio between A and B will be 1:1. That is equally. We can see from here as well that they were earlier also they were sharing the equal profit, and again in the new case also they are sharing the equal profit. So the ratio that will be gained by both, the shares that will be gained by both will be equal. Coming on to our third case, that is in case the ratio is changed among the existing partners. Here no one is retiring or no one is admitted to the firm, but the ratio or the profit sharing shares are being altered. So if we convert this first into fractions, we will get for A it is 5 by 10, for B it is 3 by 10, for C it is 2 by 10. Accordingly, new ratio also A it is 4 by 10, for B it is 4 by 10 again, for C it is 2 by 10. We have converted this into fractions so that we can calculate the sacrificing or gaining ratio. Here we don't know exactly who is going to sacrifice or who is going to gain the shares. So what we can do is we can get old ratio, we can get old ratio, we can get new ratio, and the other table we can create a sacrificing or gaining ratio. So it is A, B, C, and here we need to calculate for all the partners because anyone may gain or sacrifice because everyone is continuing the business and the continuing to stay in the partnership. So it is 5 by 10 minus 4 by 10. Here it is 3 by 10 minus 4 by 10. Here it is 2 by 10 minus 2 by 10. So basically C is not either sacrificing, not gaining. So there is no change in the ratio for the partner C. For partner A, it is 1 by 10. That means this partner is sacrificing because the old ratio was more than the new ratio. For B, we are having minus 1 by 10. That means this partner is gaining. Partner B has new ratio more than the old ratio. That means that partner has gained the share. So what do we calculate this adjustments, this changes in ratio? So this is basically calculated for giving the following adjustment. For example, goodwill adjustment or due to revaluation of assets and liabilities so that none of the partners loses or gain extra shares, and for capital adjustment as well. Thank you.